Welcome to 9 to 5 with Wangari. Did you know the employee-employer relationship is the second deepest relationship after family? So it's important we have very healthy conversations about, the everything 9 to 5. My name is Wangari. I'm the host of course, 9 to 5 with Wangari, and I talk all things in the corporate space. Today I'm here with a returning guest. She's been here speaking on things mental health and psychology, and today we're talking the imposter syndrome. So I didn't actually know it was a thing until quite recently when I had someone mention it and wanted me to talk about it. I think I've kind of felt it a lot in my career when you're starting in different domains, and you're just like, do I belong here? Am I sure what I'm doing? But I just get along with it, fake it till you make it, and believe in yourself and know that you've got it. So welcome Nyawira. Nyawira is my sister. I don't think she needs an introduction, but go for it.
All right. Hi, everyone, and it's good to be back again. As Wagari says, my name is Nyawira.
Cool. So we're talking imposter syndrome. I've kind of given my understanding of it, but I'd like to hear from a psychologist's perspective. What is the imposter syndrome?
Okay. So, and I think I really like how you were speaking earlier and saying how you've experienced it, because it's something that's super common, that a lot of people experience. And the imposter syndrome was coined by Dr. Imes in the 70s as imposter phenomenon.
So it's a phenomenon?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not a syndrome, but often people refer to it as a syndrome. And what it basically means is where high achievers are not able to internalize and accept their successes.
Yeah.
So you find that people seeing that their success is because of luck and not because of their abilities. And also they have a fear that they will be identified as a fraud by people in general. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's normal and it's usually felt by high achievers. So
Yes.
I should feel okay about it.
Yes.
So is it actually like a mental illness or what is it like?
It's not a mental illness.
Okay.
It's not classified in the diagnostic statistic manual that we use to diagnose various individuals, though it is recognized as real fear about being identified as a fraud. And it often comes with feelings of anxiety and a lot of the times depression as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So what are the signs of the imposter syndrome? What does that look like to an individual?
I would say it's basically not believing your self-worth, even though you have the qualifications, you have the skill set, the abilities, but still doubting that you are going to be able to do something correctly, or that you're going to be able to accomplish something. So you often find the imposter syndrome comes a lot of the times with perfectionism.
Perfectionism.
Yeah, and
That's not me though. I'm not a perfectionist.
Well, you will either see with someone with the imposter phenomenon, they'll either have perfectionism, or they will procrastinate, or they will excessively prepare for a task that they have to do in advance. So these are two things you can actually see, because it's good to prepare.
Yeah.
However, if you're preparing 1 week for something that's going to take 10 minutes, then you can see that that's over preparing for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you advise someone going through the imposter phenomenon? I know for me it's always just do it, just do the work, be consistent, you got this. So it's a lot of self-talk.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, that's my way. Do you have any other advice around how you can get through this phenomenon if you're going through it?
Yeah. I think even before looking at how you can go through it, I would like to talk a little bit about what causes it.
Yeah. What causes it,
Because to fix something, you need to know why it's come about.
Amen.
And you find a lot of the times, someone may feel like they have imposter phenomenon because their parents were pushing for them to be high achievers.
Yeah.
So, and then also, even in addition to that, doing this shift between complimenting them and criticizing children. And that's why, you hear even like pressure that comes from school and from class or from teachers or exams. I'm always like super alert to things that parents or even teachers may tell students, because this is where this feeling of being an imposter can start breeding from that point. And I know a little bit in the recent past, there was the perception that the imposter phenomenon was very linked to being female.
Okay.
Though after a lot of research, and I think the last research that was published was in 2011, addressing and finding out, does this also apply to men?
Yeah.
And they did find that it does apply to men as well. And females will often speak about it, though men will not speak about it. But the pressure is still there.
Okay.
And you do find also that sometimes society imposes us to have this high achieving.
Yeah.
Whether it's something like, you're a minority.
Yes, definitely.
If you're female, if you're from a minority ethnic group, you do feel, do I deserve to be here? I have to perform more than my other colleagues so that I can be able to really make my name or to be able to be successful in all the stuff that you're doing. So, and also, like I said earlier, it's normal. You can imagine if you've just graduated from university and you're moving into the workspace for the first time, you will feel like, should I really be here? Do I need to do like 10 more internships before I can be qualified to be in the position that I've been hired for? So it is something, even when you're changing jobs.
Yeah, I felt that definitely.
Yeah, you feel like, do I deserve to be here? Do I deserve to have this job? Am I going to accomplish the tasks that have been given to me? And it's something that comes along with changes. You change a job, you change the endeavor, and it may come along with that as well.
Well, it's so good to hear that it's a normal feeling and a normal emotion. So you've told us what the root cause is. Actually, I have an interesting question. What's the opposite?
Wait. Yeah? But I'd like to also say it's normal, though a lot of the times it's also that irrational fear.
Yeah. Okay,
So it is normal to feel this way, but then it's to look at how can you, this irrational fear, because the fear is all in our mind.
Yeah.
It's our thoughts, unhelpful thoughts, which is creating us to have these feelings that are coming up. So it's normal, though it is caused by also irrational fear that we at times may create because of our thoughts.
Okay, so just managing those thoughts.
Yes.
And so before I go into how you can not fix, or just like make it better, what's the opposite of the imposter phenomenon? So I think this would be someone who feels that they do know everything, they are deserving, but not quite really. Is that a thing that exists?
I don't know. I don't want to say that there would be an opposite for it, and that I know that there is something like that exists. I mean, when you speak like that, I'm thinking about what we were talking about before, the narcissistic.
Yeah.
But you see now, being narcissistic is a personality disorder.
Okay, so that's actually
that is a disorder, and that's now another extreme and part of the diagnostic statistic manual. So I would like to think that even for the imposter phenomenon, it may just be certain characters or traits that someone has, but not necessarily an opposite of a syndrome or something.
Okay, cool, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the root causes of like this imposter phenomenon. How do I get through it?
Yeah.
I
would imagine there's a couple of ways you can get through it. The first one I would say is to talk to a mentor.
Okay.
Because when you talk to your mentor, they actually may tell you that what you're feeling is normal, and also help you to identify these irrational fears.
Yes.
And that's why you really need to pick your mentor really well. You know, it's just not that random person you've been told to go talk to, but it's someone who you actually feel you can get good leadership and guidance in terms of whether it's career or something that you're involved in. I think it's also good to kind of list your abilities.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
to be realistic about them. You want to be like, what are things that you have achieved that you're good at so that you can constantly keep reminding yourself. I would also say, using your skills to help other people. And what that means is like, doing an entire, going to like a school and offering your service to students who are still growing and developing so that you can feel that you are actually good and you have progressed from the point you're in university to the point where you are right now. It would also need an aspect of this shifting your thinking,
Yeah.
learning how to change your thinking, because the imposter phenomenon is a cycle.
Yeah.
So there's this fear that comes with it. You do the job, then you think, oh, it's good to have anxiety. It's what I need. It's what pushes me. And you're just doing a cycle.
Oh, a cycle. Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah.
Which is actually not nice.
Yeah.
And you are thinking that it is something that would push you to achieving things, but it's learning how to reframe these thoughts that come, these unhelpful thoughts that come. How do you make them helpful so that you can be able to actually complete a task, know that you are able to do it, and be happy about it. It shouldn't be stress every time you need to do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do like how you said it's really common for people who are new to an organization. And for me, that's when I've really felt it. When I'm trying out something new or shifting jobs and you're like in a whole new space, what can employers do to help, like, just help this process be a bit nicer for, especially, I think you're right, it's like the high achievers who kind of feel like, what can employers do, like in their onboarding process? Any tips to the employers for that?
Yeah. I think there's a couple of things that can be done. I would say like maybe something like, letting someone that's new, that's okay, before even going there, we could start with, even as someone is hired, give them as much information.
A very clear job description. Yeah.
Clear job description. In the job description, you can even have links as to where they can go if they need more info, or who they can approach if they need more info in the company. And then once you have that, as the person comes in and they're learning, they're getting to understand, then it's to actually be like, if you need anything, reach out to us and we can give you information. Okay. And then I also think, but you see now also, if you've been hired, and a lot of the times there's this fear of, what if they think I don't know what I'm doing? People will think you're a fraud. So it actually acts against you. So it's good for the employers, right? Yeah, employers to actually be like, do you need anything? Are you settling in well? Do you have any questions? So actually asking people so that they can feel comfortable to open up and say they need help in 1, 2, 3, 4, and they can get the help. Okay, cool.
That has been super helpful. Is there anything else? I think it's been quite clear that it's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to add on to this topic? Some people are very interested to this, because I think like in the current times we live in and the workplaces, there's a lot of like just pressure to sometimes even just be more than you can be. And I like how you said, just be very clear. This is who I am and this is what I can bring.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, go do sales. Wangari will never do sales. I don't know how to do sales. I know what my strengths are. So is there any like parting shots or anything that you feel like needs to be added to this conversation?
I would say it really is just being able to identify what are you capable of, and doing what's in your limits, and also reaching out if you need help. Because even one of the things when you look at when you're asking what are things you can do to deal with the imposter phenomenon, it's also seeking therapy, because remember, it comes with a lot of anxiety. It may come with depressive symptoms or episodes, so it's really just dealing with this stuff on your own, so that even as you go into a new environment, a new endeavor, that you're able to feel, I'm capable of this and I'm going to do it.
Okay. Yeah. So would you recommend that it's healthy for people to like change like their workspace or is it just stick to something for like 35 years, or is it like, is it good to try out? Like for me, I find like that's one of the most helpful things. It's just to put myself into a completely new situation, and every time I come out like successful, I'm like, yeah, you see, you got it. So is that something?
Well, two things. I think it depends on each individual. I don't want to generalize. Some people are happy staying in one job for 35 years. For me, 1 year is the maximum. Often, it depends on the individual themselves, you know, because people like different challenges, different experiences, growing professionally also. So it really depends on the individual. Some people are comfortable in the same job, same office for 35 years. And if they're happy, that's good, you know?
Cool.
I wouldn't say either of them is not happy, but it's about if you don't feel you're growing, you do need to change and move.
Like, do you think they should move?
So I would say that you do need to move. Though please don't move because of this cycle. That you've already gone into this cycle of where you need this anxiety to achieve and you think it's normal. You know, I do think we should challenge ourselves often and regularly so that you can grow professionally.
Okay.
Though if it's because of this cycle that you think is normal, that's unhealthy, then I don't think you should be moving because of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one final question for me, which, because I'm super curious, for the person who stays in a job 35 years, it's good for them to challenge themselves. Should they find challenges outside work, like, you know, to help, you know, just get out of their comfort zone? Or is it?
Why do you think someone who's been in a job for 35 years, it's an issue?
I don't know. I guess
For some people, it's okay. And it's actually fine.
Okay,
you know?
cool.
For some people, they will be in the same job, the same place, the same people. And it's totally okay for them.
Okay, gotcha.
For others who are there because they feel stuck, they feel they can't go anywhere, then now you do need to look for things outside to challenge you, to help you grow, and also to change jobs, you know, at the end. But for the ones who are happy in that, you know, 40 years in the same place, let them be.
Comfort is okay.
Yeah, comfort is very okay in this world. I think even right now, when we look at even just like, you know, what's going on, the pandemic, the changes that have come about because of the pandemic, comfort is important.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we all want to be comfortable.
All right, thank you. So that was Nyawira speaking the imposter phenomenon. So let's remember it's not a syndrome, it's a phenomenon, something like a phenomenon. My mouth. But yeah, so let's remember it's a phenomenon and it's normal. It's for the high achievers. You can get through it. And yes, thank you for listening. And yeah, please comment, subscribe, and share. And looking forward to having more conversations with you. Ciao.